Get your score out so you can follow it, and just listen for the power of that ascent and how dramatic it makes it to have a climax. And I tend to define a climax as the combination of two things. It's a melodic high point, but it's also the peak of some dynamic trend, a crescendo. Now sometimes you won't have a crescendo marked in the score, but as soon as you inject that, as soon as you create one as a performer, that creates a climactic moment. So here the climax is the forte piano. Do you see that? It's in measure 6. You're on A flat, the highest note, and the loudest. Definitely a climactic moment there. And then we fall from that climax with a decrescendo in tandem with it. So again, melodic contour and dynamics working hand in hand to create that special event. So he's putting emphasis on the A flat. Beethoven is putting emphasis on it by saying what to do dynamically there. And we were just realizing that, you know what, you didn't even need that A flat up there. But he pulls inner voice resources into prominence. He puts them in a high register and makes that climax happen because he wanted it. Not because, you know, it could have been this. This could have been the high point, and he could have called attention to it. But by breaking out into a higher register still, getting lots of elevation, it's so much more dramatic than to come down and reapproach your D flat that way. Regain it. So let's listen. But you get the PAC that you expected, right?
Mm-hmm. And that
you get a parallel interrupted period there.
That second time really emphasizes the D flat.
Yes. Isn't that true?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to dig up the next phrase here and just show it to you next time and see what they did with that. And let's see what if they had to do something different for the parallel phrase, the consequent in this period. Let's just see what they did. Because I mean, we could probably use the emphasis on the D flat that you heard right there and say, you know what? We're being more consistent in the first phrase to use the D flat. See what I mean? We'll look at that, see what we think. All right. Powerful, huh? And a neat performance too. Did you feel him playing with the rhythm a little bit?
Using that
the pulse,
that prolongation and tension. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was
Did
like
you notice
adagio.
too? Go ahead.
It was like adagio muy molto.
Yeah, he played it very slowly. Did you notice that he didn't quite follow the dynamics? He was shaping in his own way, creating some.
Yeah.
What did you notice that was different?
It sounded like to me he rose more towards or got stronger in the first section. I could have been just my hearing of it, but.
Oh, gradually building up in the first system?
Yeah.
That's true. It's not marked, but it makes sense to do that because you're climbing.
It's kind of this, I guess, kind of a rise and fall movement kind of thing.
Yeah, so he's using dynamics to reflect the shape of the melody.
Yeah, he gets,
That's
to
true.
me it sounded like he got to the gruppetto right there and kind of took a pause and then kind of got there and then came back softer again. He built it up, and then when he got to there, he dropped down a little bit.
Yeah, he's making smaller shapes within it too. Anybody notice though, as we came away from the climax, what happened there?
Yeah, he got louder again at the, I felt like at the two last eighth notes before the ultimate, the penultimate measure. Those two,
He
yeah.
brought that out.
Yeah, there I said that. I heard that dynamics.
Interesting.
You could feel the D really being brought out through that whole thing.
As it gets dissonant, he doesn't taper off.
Mm-hmm.
He crescendos a little bit into it and then lets it decrescendo later. Listen to that again, that is very interesting. Now, which interpretation is he taking?
Ours.
Hours.
Ours, that's interesting. Okay, listen. So do you hear that?
Wow.
Swell and back. That's what you were saying. Bring it down. And make you wait a little longer. A little early. And now. Make you wait just a little bit. Okay, now listen. Did you feel that?
He puts, it's almost like he makes a tenuto, like, yeah, yeah. He really wanted to show that resolution.
Did you hear though that he adds a little heft to the sound as he goes down instead of lightning as he goes down? That run. And then these are he brings those out a little more. So I think he's responding to that resolution as we were.